Let's do a walkthrough of how to create a drawing in Autodesk Fusion. We're going to start off by going up to our workspace changer, which is right now we're in design. I'm going to click on that and I'm going to go down to drawing and then select from the flyout menu from design. You're going to see it's going to highlight this object, and then over here on the right side we have the create drawing. The thing that we're going to do is we're going to select under template, we're going to go to browse. So either you see from scratch or browse. So in this particular project, we're going to go ahead and we're going to browse. In our IED project, if you're inside of the IED 2526, we're going to go into the resources folder. You're going to see there's a title blocks folder. And then we're going to select IED title block A and choose. And then once we have that clicked on, we're going to choose select. You're going to see that IED title block A appear now in the template, and we're going to go ahead and select OK. So this template is going to be used because it's already formatted for the size of paper we need, and also has a title block in it that's going to pre-populate some of the things like your name and has our logo and everything, as you can notice. So here's what's going to happen. As soon as you load this part, you're going to see it says to place a base view. I'm going to go ahead and make sure under the style, so on this menu, it's set to visible and hidden edges. The scale is set to 1 to 2. If I click the little 3 dots on the side, I can select 1 to 1. And then the other thing too is let's go ahead and make sure the tangent edges are selected at full length. And I'm going to go ahead and click, because essentially the base view is our front view. And I'm going to go ahead and select OK. So there's our front view placed. In order to place some others, I'm going to go ahead and go up here to projected view. I'm going to select it. And then it says to select the parent view. So I'm going to select the front view, go above, click, go to the right, click, and then go diagonally, just move my cursor up and to the right, and then I'm going to click to place an isometric view. When I'm done, I'm going to select the check mark icon, which turns green, and then that way that places our views. So here you're going to see, here's our object that we're going to have. Couple of setting changes. I'm going to go ahead and double click on the ISO view. In the style, I want to change this over to shaded, so I'm going to click the little blue cube here that says shaded, and I'm going to go ahead and select close. The other thing is too is that what we're going to find in our particular file here is that we don't necessarily need to have all 3 views. So in fact, the example drawing that they provided only had 2 views. So I'm actually going to select this right side view. Either one of 2 things. You can select delete on your keyboard, or you can right click and then select delete from this menu to get rid of it. So we're only going to be running with those. Now, the drawing that was provided, you may not have seen these outside edges, the fillet that has a start and stop, but that's going to be what we do. Before we get changing anything else, really, now that we have our drawing created, we just need to add dimensions to it. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the document settings. I'm going to click the little arrow to drop down, and notice there's dimension units, and a little icon pops up, and it says to change the dimension units. I'm going to go ahead and click on this. And over here in the menu, I'm going to just change this from inches to millimeters to match what we have on our drawing. And I'm going to go ahead and select OK. So now, if I collapse the document settings, I can go ahead and up here on the dimensions panel, you'll see the very first one is called dimension, which creates all different kinds of dimensions. So I'm actually going to click it. It'll highlight, and then it says to specify what kind of edge we want or point in order to start doing that. So I'm going to start off by just selecting the outside edge of the circle. I'm going to click it, and then you notice now I can place a dimension. I'm going to go ahead and follow kind of the example and place it right about where it was. And the top view, just to kind of keep going, I'm going to go ahead and zoom in here just a little bit. So make sure that we click on this line and this line. That's going to give us the height of this part. And then a couple other things you're going to see. Here's a center that gets kind of picked up, but when I move off of it, I can't really select it. So here's what we got to do. I'm going to right click and say cancel, and I'm going to go up here and grab the center mark tool. And I'm just going to click on the outside edge of the circle to place a center mark there. So I'm going to go ahead and say OK to stop placing center marks. I'm going to grab that dimension tool one more time. I'm going to click on this edge, and what you're going to notice is now I can actually click on the edge of the center mark, which is going to help us kind of place where exactly that's going to be. I'm going to go ahead and place this like this, and we're going to clean this up here in a moment. Let's go ahead and do the other side too. So I'm going to go ahead and click here and here, place the 10, click here, click on this line, and you'll notice that those lines kind of highlight whenever I'm over top of them, right? So that's kind of helping me know which ones are which. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and right click and say okay for right now. To kind of change some of this, now that you're not running the dimension tool, here's what you can end up doing is you can actually select a dimension. You'll see these little gray kind of grips. I'm going to click and drag, and I'm going to place that 10 right here in the middle. And it kind of changes the appearance. Same thing here. If I want to move this to the outside, I can do that. And that kind of changes the appearance of the dimensions. Same thing here. If I want to go ahead and try to do kind of like what it has on the drawing, and even move around some of the values and kind of place them. So that cleans up the dimensions a little bit. And there we go. All right, last thing here is that we'll go ahead and run the dimension tool one more time. When I go to do this one, we need the heights. So I'm going to click on the top edge. I'm going to click on this edge. We'll place the 15 there. I'll click on this edge and click the very bottom edge. There's the 30. We'll kind of place it. And then if I select this arc, I can go ahead and click to place where the 5 would be. And then down here in the corner, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click this line, and I'm going to click this point. So that's going to show me that I've got 5 millimeters. And then if I want to do the angle, I'm going to select this bottom line, and I want to select the angled line here. And when I move, you're going to see it kind of switches between 150 and 30 degrees. So as I move over to the left here, you're going to see I'm actually going to be able to kind of place it where it looks like this, which is matching our drawing. So I'm going to go ahead and click and place that there. All right, so there is, to kind of put that in. The only other thing that we're going to add is I'm going to go ahead and go up here to the text tool, and I'm going to click and like draw like a text box. And then I can go ahead and start to type. So maybe I'll put notes, and then in here I'll put 1, all dimensions in millimeters. And we're just going to go ahead and after you click off of that, I can resize this box just a little bit and move it around. And maybe I just want to go ahead and put the notes down here in the corner. So, but we want to make sure to tell everybody that these units are in millimeters. Okay. So this finishes up the drawing. In order to create this, you can also export this drawing as a PDF. You can click this, and you can say to export all the sheets and select OK. And it may come up with this little dialog. We will want to save it, but here's where it'll show you like where it's going to be saved to on your computer. For me, it's my desktop. So I could hit save, and then that would actually export this PDF. So, but this is going to wrap up how to create the drawing for that first object here in the sketches, extrusions, and revolutions Oh My activity.